Boom. Alright, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, as you already know, we are going to be discussing Bitcoin miners. Crypto equities across the board kicked off the new trading week on a very strong foot following an exciting weekend of price action in the crypto markets themselves. So I'm excited to take a look at a few of our favorite Bitcoin miners on the chart today. We will be taking a look at Bitfarms, Riot Blockchain, and Marathon Digital in that order. Talk some technicals, talk some early April price targets. But before we dive into the charts and get technical, I do want to discuss Bitfarms Q4 earnings. So these just came out on Monday morning to kick off the week. We've been eyeballing this earnings report for a while. Riot crushed their earnings a few weeks back. Mara crushed their earnings a few weeks back. So it only made sense that Bitfarms would follow suit and do the same, and they did exactly that. So these numbers, I mean, these year-over-year metrics, these quarter-over-quarter metrics are just blockbuster, you guys. So I'm excited to dive into this. And again, if you've been tuned in, if you've been part of the newsletter portfolio group, you know that we were well prepared for this. And again, it was an easy read. It was almost obvious, but we still played it well. And yeah, cheers to that one, okay? So, of course, before we talk technicals as well and dive into Bitcoin miners, I'm sure you guys saw that little intro page. I do want to talk about Bitcoin. Got to talk the king a little bit. If we're going to talk Bitcoin miners, we got to talk Bitcoin. We're not going to be looking at BTC on the charts today, or in this video at least. But I do want to give you guys my general thoughts on BTC because, of course, the price action of Bitcoin will heavily impact the price action of Bitcoin miners, okay? But first, I do want to read you guys a few quick little bits and pieces from the intro to the newsletter that I sent out on Monday morning, and then we'll dive into all the good stuff, okay? Other good stuff, at least. Although I love to see growth stocks across the board doing well, Bitcoin miners and crypto equities are the obvious winners. It's only Monday, but I'm smelling a good old steak and sushi dinner on the horizon, so cheers to that. It's tough to not be bullish on the remainder of the week considering we're coming out of the gates with such strength, but this market remains a bit choppy, so just make sure to stay on your toes. And remember, no news is good news and good news is great news. So I've been saying that a bunch in the newsletter over the past few days. And this also plays in to the fact that I think, I mean, you guys all know all of the geopolitical issues that are going on. There's no need to repeat everything that's happening. Interest rates on top of that are being raised. The Fed is coming in hot, and there are objectively a lot of negative macro catalysts that you can make the argument for. That said, I still skew bullish. The momentum is still in favor of the bulls, and I want to make that very clear. But as a little PSA, as a little disclaimer, you guys, it's easy to get excited when you're seeing, I mean, 13%, 10%, 8% on the watch list this morning. And it's easy to get bullish when you see, again, plays like Mana, Render, Sand, all of our favorite names that we cover on this channel, just absolutely ripping, especially as other assets in the markets, other equities falter. It's easy to get a little overly excited and get a little bit ahead of ourselves. But again, just remember this market is still pretty sus. It's still sketchy, and just stay on your toes and stay vigilant, okay? So before we dive into Bitfarms minings and then move into the charts, once again, let's read over this quickly because this is another little disclaimer just before we get bullish, okay? So again, gotta stay cautious, but just want to reinforce my bullish opinion as we move through the video. Okay, so Bitcoin, the king, continues his conquer in what seems to be an endless reign, and it's difficult to not be bullish. That said, the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, which is pictured below, take a look at that, is currently sitting at 60 and is once again reclaimed levels of greed. I'm not saying I'm flipping bearish, but in the wise words of the Oracle of Omaha, let me know in the comments down below who that is. Okay, I know most of you know. Let me know in the comments down below and educate everyone who doesn't know. Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Words of the wise right there. Again, drop in the comment box down below. Who is the Oracle of Omaha? Little trivia for the day. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index as of March 28th, 2022, date of recording, Monday afternoon. We are at a 60. So that said, again, this is a little PSA. And although we are in greed territory, we can still get much, much more greedy, okay? And that's what the trend is saying. Again, I said, be cautious, stay on your toes, but when it comes to the technical momentum, the sentiment momentum amongst investors, are investors optimistic following the past few months of very, very slow, very honestly fearful price action, because we were over the past couple of months, I think we saw like a 15, like low teens in the fear and greed index, which is extreme fear. So now we're in greed. We can, of course, get over here. We've seen it in 90s before. We've all seen it in 90s before where it's extreme greed. But right now, again, we flip the script. This is pretty much just a meter of general optimism of investor sentiment. And right now, we are flipping optimistic. Now, when we get to extremely optimistic and euphoric, that's obviously when we've looked at the bull market, the psychology of bull markets in the past. That's when we know it's probably about time to sell and maybe liquidate some of your position for the long term. But right now, we have just flipped optimistic once again. Greedy, optimistic, tomato, honestly. But again, you guys, just keep an eye on this fear and greed index. If you want to find it, just type in Bitcoin fear and greed index on Google. It's the first one, you'll find it. But keep an eye on this because this, again, is an optimism meter. And right now, it's looking good. This is bullish in my mind. But again, get too far in either direction, like pretty much anything else in life. The more polarizing it is, the more cautious you should be, okay? So that's the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Again, not looking at the king on the charts today, but I'll just say I'm bullish. And obviously, if I am bullish on Bitcoin over the short to medium term time horizon, I am going to be bullish on Bitcoin miners as well. We'll kick it off with Bitfarms on the charts. Let's slow down a little bit. Bitfarms on the charts, but first, let's take a look over some of their Q4 of 2021 earnings numbers. What happened? Investors were pleased with the Q4 2021 earnings updates. Obviously. Okay, so what happened? Shares of cryptocurrency mining operation Bitfarms were up 10% today. That's irrelevant. Investors were pleased with the company's financial results for the fourth quarter of 2021, which showed a big jump in revenue from Bitcoin mining. So what? Bitfarms reported that it mined 1,045 Bitcoin tokens during the fourth quarter of 2021, resulting in a revenue of $59.6 million. The average cost per token mined, which factors in the cost for electricity consumed and cloud computing hosting, was $8,000. This compares to the 1,051 tokens mined in the third quarter of 2021 for revenue of $44.8 million and an average cost per token of $69,000. The company also reported net income of $9.68 million in the fourth quarter, up from a net loss of $5.34 million a year ago. We all love a good old profitable company, especially in a hyper growth sector like this. Most companies, again, when you're talking hyper growth, when you're talking SaaS, when you're talking even companies in like the athleisure space, sometimes they're not profitable for a very long time. Okay, you're focusing on hyper growth. Again, just go watch We Crashed. Amazing documentary. But anyway, the fact that a hyper growth company is remaining profitable and actually in the green and providing a positive EPS is very, very impressive. And all Bitcoin miners at this point in time are doing so. For the full year 2021, Bitfarms mined 3,453 Bitcoin tokens, resulting in total revenue of $169 million and net income of $22 million. Now what? It's worth noting that Bitfarms is not a typical stock. While the company is realizing revenue from the value of Bitcoin tokens it's mining, a reward in the form of new tokens gained from helping manage the Bitcoin network, it's holding on to those tokens on its balance sheet, and this applies, of course, to all Bitcoin miners as well. Again, Riot, Mara, Bitfarms, they're all holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. MicroStrategy, not a Bitcoin miner, but same concept. To pay its bills, the company is issuing new shares on the market. During the fourth quarter alone, Bitfarms issued nearly 17.6 million new shares at an average share price of about $6.47 for net proceeds of $110 million. So, again, you guys, if the skillet's hot, you got to keep throwing that bacon in. That was a weird analogy right there off the fly. But you guys get what I'm saying. If there is momentum behind your stock from an operational perspective, if I was the team, I would issue new shares as well, right? If people are going to buy your shares, why not sell them shares? Okay, supply and demand economics 101. If people buy the shares, sell the shares, get some cash on your balance sheet to go buy more ASICs, go buy more Bitcoin miners, because ultimately, the more Bitcoin miners you got, the more Bitcoin you can mine and the more revenue you generate. Okay, so that's straight up economics 101. Didn't need to even probably say that for most of you guys, but you guys get the point. Bitfarms, year-over-year metrics looking good. Again, Riot and Mara, blockbuster earnings. It only made sense, and it was an obvious call, but once again, we played it well, and shout out to the newsletter portfolio. Just realized I didn't even shout it out. So if you guys do want one of these bad boys in your email inbox every trading day, again, this is one of 5 that I think we covered. Bitcoin, Bitfarms, Coinbase, Matterport, and ARK Innovation ETF below this with the charts and everything here. So if you guys want, this is just part 2. This is part 1, talking about my trades, going over the trading day during actual trading hours. If you guys want up-to-date information from myself, and again, you guys, I spend the majority of my day writing this newsletter. So if you guys want access to this along with a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio, it's greatly appreciated. Again, I put a lot of work into this. I feel it's definitely worth 15 bucks a month or 40 bucks for every 3 months, up to you. Again, I'm biased. This is my product, but I do my best to make it worth your hard-earned money. Again, it really means a lot if you guys check that out. So first link down below in the description box. Again, it means a lot if you check it out. If not though, no worries at all. Let's dive into these charts. Kicking it off with Bitfarms, move on to Riot, Mara, and then we'll call her a day. Okay, so Bitfarms, of course, following the breakout of this nice short-term symmetrical triangle or bullish pennant formation. Not bullish, I mean, not necessarily bullish pennant, but in this case, it did play out as a bullish pennant formation, just general pennant formation that resolved bullish. Break of resistance of the symmetrical triangle. We have almost come up to test my first level right here, around $4.50, but given these amazing numbers, the fact that Bitfarms is generating crazy revenue, revenue numbers like that with a market cap of under $800 million is, what? I don't know if the EPS, so the PE ratio, price to earnings ratio, has not been updated yet, but, and I'm not going to calculate it right now, but they definitely have a very impressive price to earnings ratio following these profitable earnings, following the fact that they're profitable in general with that amount of EBITDA revenue. Bitfarms is a very solid company, and they're still trading pretty below what is considered to be, again, fair value in this market with a hyper growth stock. You're looking at 20 to 25 EPS fair value. Which, again, Bitfarms just not going to do the math here, but is definitely trading below that. Keep in mind, Coinbase, before its big rally today, coin calls, I don't know if you guys saw this right here, but coin calls were up over 2x. I think they were up 110% today, my Coinbase calls. So Coinbase, again, another company, hyper growth sector in crypto, was trading at a PE ratio of like 12 for the past month or something, which is just bananas. So that just shows how scared the market has been. And hopefully we are, again, we have come out of that despair phase that I've been talking about, and we are going back into the reversion to the mean phase or fair value phase, okay? So, sorry about that little tangent, but I felt it's probably important information for you guys to have. Anyway, Bitfarms from a technical perspective is approaching, again, almost came up to test, a few cents below testing my initial level here at about $4.50. Keep in mind, you guys, all of these levels that we're looking at here, just the levels you can see in front of you, are just my personal levels. They're just areas that when you look at the charts, it doesn't take a genius to look at this. It just years of looking at charts, you just know where to set levels, where to set ceilings and floors, areas that have acted as both resistance and support for the asset in the past. Just make some levels. If we have momentum, it's likely that these levels will be broken, but also act as ceilings in the past where we will see short-term corrections. But once again, to sum this up, considering Bitfarms has such strong fundamental tailwinds behind it that will blow it upwards, I do think that the next level that we will see pretty much that the upside will dominate the near future, the short to medium term, and the next level that I'm eyeballing personally is going to be $5.40. That's likely where I will begin taking profits on my position significantly. Again, check this out if you want to know exactly when. But again, $5.40 or a 30% price appreciation from where we are now at 420 is going to be my short-term price target. Let's move on to Riot and then close it out with Miss Mara. So Riot blockchain, again, same story here, you guys. Following the breakout, Riot broke this significant line of resistance on the short-term downtrend, immediately started ripping, and right now we have achieved this trading range that we've been talking about for weeks now. This trading range between about 22 and 25 bucks that I've been expecting of Riot for the past few weeks. Could have timed it a little better, if I'm being honest, but hey, that's the game. As long as you get the macro direction right, and as a swing trader, that's where it's lucrative. That's, again, as long as you're not playing calls that expire this Friday, which I absolutely recommend nobody do. You're a fool, honestly, if you buy calls that expire on Friday, unless you're way in the money. But again, if you're swing trading, if you're playing 45 to 60 day strikes, you should be good. And I mean, again, Riot has obviously been a lucrative play as well. Anyway, Riot is trading in this beautiful trading range right here that Riot has spent time in the past. You can see following the big sell-off, Riot spent a meaningful amount of time in the same range. So I do think that at the top side of this range, we will definitely be seeing some resistance for Riot that comes in at about 25 bucks. Obviously, $25 is significant psychological even as well. But given the fact that 4-hour stokes are curling up, I forgot to mention that on Bitfarms, but Many stocks across the entire market, growth stocks. You saw after today's price action, 4-hour stochastic RSI, good old blue crossing over the red to the upside. That is very bullish. That is a bullish technical indicator when it comes to short, mostly short, medium, like a week of price action. Okay, a few days to a week price action, whatever time horizon you want to label that as. But a few days to a week, that's bullish when the 4-hour stokes curl to the upside. We're seeing some volume come back, which is great. And although I do think we will see some resistance around 25 bucks, I still think Riot can definitely make it up here at least to about $29, approach 30. And hey, best case scenario, if Bitcoin sees to do all-time highs, maybe Riot comes in. We see a great month or two. By summer, if Bitcoin keeps ripping, which is honestly unlikely in this macroeconomic environment of raising rates. Unlikely, but hey, it's possible. It's crypto. Anything's possible. Best case scenario for Riot over the coming months, I do believe June 15th, midsummer, is going to be to retest this previous long-term line of both support and resistance, just general trend line, confirmed again right here in November as resistance. If we retest that, that would take us just under 70 bucks. But again, that's best case scenario. But again, hey, it's possible. It's crypto. Let's close it out with Miss Mara. Haven't taken a look at Mara on the chart today. Shout out to Tombo for the request of this one, but I know a lot of you guys want to see it as well. So although I personally, just a little disclaimer right up front, I personally do not trade Mara in my portfolio. Those days I spent a long time, you guys know. Riot and Mara were the king and queen back in 2020 when we started talking about both of these puppies at $1, $2, $3. But right now, Riot and Bitfarms, personally, my fastest horses in the race. Mara, obviously, will still see upside as well. I'm just, and I have nothing against Mara. I love Mara. I think it's a great company. It's arguably the most, from an operational perspective, the best of the three. Also has the largest market cap to validate that. But right now, again, Bitfarms, Riot, personally my fastest horses in the race. The cars I'm choosing to bet on, but Mara still holds a special place in my heart. So anyway, same thing here, you guys. I mean, just, I don't even want to. These are all the levels I set for Mara. I actually have the most levels for Mara. So again, you guys, just historical areas that have acted as ceilings and floors in the past will likely come into play once again. But that said, I do not think it's very likely that Mara will reach all-time high. Mara got super inflated back in November. If you guys remember that, if you guys played that, congrats. But again, Mara has seen the most recent parabolic hype-driven rally. Therefore, I do think it'll take longer for Mara to come back as opposed to Riot and Bitfarms. And that's just the game we've played, you guys. You know that Riot and Mara have always played catch-up. We've said that so many times. That applies to plays like Sandbox and Decentraland in today's age, in some of the assets we talk about now. But if you guys were around for those early days, again, Riot would jump a few bucks. Mara would play some catch-up, Riot would fall, and that's just kind of the dynamic that these Bitcoin miners see. And right now, I think it's Riot's time to shine. I don't doubt the fact that Mara can appreciate in value, but again, Riot, Bitfarms, I think have more catch-up to play. That said, you guys can just screen grab this if you want. Just take a look at these levels. The scenario for Mara is kind of similar right here, but again, I would say $50 is, in the case that Bitcoin does continue to rip, I would say $50 is just straight up eyeballing it. This range between $50 and $55. That is kind of fair value range for Mara in the case that Bitcoin continues to thrive. Okay, so that's that, you guys. And let me know in the comments down below who is the Oracle of Omaha. Let me know also what your favorite Bitcoin miner is, what your favorite crypto equity is. I just posted that video about Smurf yesterday. Hopefully you guys dug that. I had fun recording that video. Actually, I had a lot of fun recording this video as well. Sorry, I'm talking a little bit fast. I've been popping these. I want to show you guys this. I've been popping these exogenous ketones right here by Ketone IQ. Shout out to the boys at HVMN. This is one of the best exogenous ketones I've ever had. I actually fast up until it's 4 p.m. Hawaii time, and I'm actually fasted still. So I only eat 2 meals a day. I'll grab some steak right after this. Eat a super carb heavy, super protein heavy meal in a couple of hours. But there's no point in me telling this. I just wanted to say the reason I've been speaking especially fast lately is because I've been pounding this Ketone IQ. This is not an ad. They did send that to me, but that is not an ad. It's just a fire product. So if you guys want energy, you can't just go eat some cake and then pop this. That's not how it works. Your body needs to produce the ketones themselves. This just kind of ignites the spark that ignites the flame. But go check that out. And again, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite crypto equity in the markets is right now. And if you guys are eating steak and sushi this weekend as well. Okay, so catch you guys downstairs. As always, until next time, take action, make waves. Peace.